Friends, in this lecture we are going to see how you can use MATLAB software for creating simple programs. Here we are using MATLAB on mobile. So this is mobile application on which we are doing the program. So how to install this MATLAB application in your mobile? So just go to the Google Play Store, type MATLAB. You will get MATLAB application by MathWorks. Just install it, and after installing you have to sign up. Most of you have already signed it up, but let me tell you this thing. Then after signing up you can start with the programming. Here I have created the program so that our time will be saved. So let me tell you some things. Then with the help of this, as you all know, with the help of this plus option you can create just wait, you can create a new file, new folder, you can take picture, you can record video and upload photos. So simply we will use this plus sign for creating new file or folder. Then these three horizontal lines over here will show you the files. Then it will show you the command window on which we can directly write the programs. Then you can also use the programs of sensors. There are ready-made examples also, so you can just go through it. So let me tell you, with the help of this command, okay, just let me clear this. So CLC is the command which is used to clear the command window. Let me repeat, CLC is the command which is used to clear this command window. Then in this command window you can directly write A is equal to 5, okay, then B is equal to whatever, okay, 6, and if I want C is equal to A plus B, you can directly do it. This is very simple. Okay, so we are doing all these things on command window, okay, but as you can see I cannot edit the command windows. So you can see over here you cannot edit this command window. Means if in case I want instead of C is equal to A plus B, I want C is equal to A into B, I have to write this command again, but I cannot edit in this one, okay. So I will have to write C is equal to A into B, and then I will get the answer. C is equal to A into B, then I will get this answer, but I cannot edit in that, okay. Then this is the command window I was talking about. Also CLC, I will repeat, is a command which is used to clear this command window, but clear all is used to clear the variables which are saved, okay. So as you can see in this, the window is clear, but if I type C is equal to or just C, then it will give me the answer of C which was previously calculated as C is equal to A into B. So that variable was saved in the MATLAB, because even though we have cleared the window, that variable value is still stored over there, okay. So if you want to clear all the variables which are saved, then I will use the command clear all, okay. Then let me do it, clear all. Then now if I type C, then it will show me undefined function or unrecognized variable, because after clear all it has cleared all the variables which are saved in that memory, okay, in that temporary memory. Whichever variable was saved earlier, which will that will be erased, okay. So clear all is command is used like this. So instead of writing programs in the command window, we will first write it in a script file, and then we will run that script file. I have discussed this point earlier, but let me tell you that the script file can be created like this. So let me show you. Okay, so you can either create plus new file, you can write the name of the file and create. Okay, so you can directly create this file by just clicking on plus sign. In the MATLAB software on the PC, you have to go to file, new script file, but in this case you just have to click on this plus sign and you have to just take a new file, you have to name it, and it will be saved over here. Okay, so all these files are created by just clicking this sign and just naming that file. Okay, so let me discuss one by one. So let me start with yes, right, conditional statements. So you can see here that conditional statement means if, else, okay, then switch case, then for loop. These all are conditional statement. So it is in it is involved with the condition whether yes or no. So we call it as conditional statement. So you can create conditional statement in MATLAB just like this. You have to, I will explain line by line, and after that you have to create your own file and you have to attach afterwards during submission. Now let us see over here, just see the lines one by one. So here you can see this is the line 2 we are talking about. It says m is equal to input check value of m. If m is greater than 5, disp means display, disp m is greater than 5. Else if 5 is equal to 5, disp m is equal to 5. Else disp m is less than 5. End. Okay, so you can see over here that earlier in the line, in this first line, we are asking the input from the user that check the value of m. So let me first run it. You can just run it by clicking this triangle. So they will ask me the value of m. Let me write some random value of m. Just let me write 10. So let us see what output I am getting. Yes, so m is equal to 10 and m is greater than 5. So how that MATLAB come to know that this value is greater than 5? So it is possible because we have created the program. So let us see what is that simple program. Yes, you can see here that earlier that MATLAB had asked the value of m from us. So how we did that? By just writing this command m is equal to input check the value of m. So inside the inverted comma is check the value of m. So it will display check the value of m. We will write some value and it will be saved in variable m. It will be saved in variable m, and we are taking input by using this command input into bracket into single inverted comma check the value of m. Then now we have to give the condition. If m is greater than 5, disp, okay, so first thing is if m value is greater than 5, so whatever we have entered, if it is greater than 5, then it will display. The display can be given by using disp command, and inside disp in the single inverted comma you have to write whatever you want to display. Okay, so inside disp command you have to write whatever you want to display. Okay, so here after giving the number, if the value is greater than 5, I want this message to be flashed on the output. Which message? M is greater than 5, and it is written in single inverted comma, so it will be displayed. Then if 5 is equal to if m is equal to 5, how you can write m is equal to 5? So next condition is else if, means if 5 is not greater than 5, then else if m is equal to 5, then what you have to display? M is equal to 5. And then else if m is not equal to 5 and not greater than 5, then else definitely that value is less than 5. So then you will display that statement, and don't forget to give the end sign. Okay, so in this way you can give the conditional statement. Let me start with the next point. Then let us see how you can use loop. Okay, so you can use loop like this. So first line is sum is equal to 0. So I have created a variable called sum, and I have initialized that variable to 0. Okay, so now what I am doing, I am using a for loop. So what is a for loop? For n is equal to 1 to 10 in the steps of 2. 1 to 10 in the steps of 2 means after 1 there will be 3, then there will be 5, then 7, then 9. Okay, then means there will be the step of 2 between the 1 to 10. And what after the for loop I want to do? I want sum is equal to sum plus n. So you can just use your brain little bit. What it will give me the answer? What the answer I will get? Sum is equal to sum plus n. Then end, I will explain, just wait. End means your for and end are darker, means this loop is completed. Then disp sum, then just after completing this loop you have to display the value of sum. So let me run it so that you can understand. Yes, the answer that I have received is 25. So 25 is the answer of, let me tell you. So in this for loop, let us do the calculation iteration wise. So for first iteration, the value of sum is 0. So sum is equal to 0 plus the value of n is 1. So 0 plus 1, it is 1. So the value of sum is 1 for the first iteration. Let us take the next value of n. What is the next value of n? It is 3. Why 3? Because we have taken the step of 2. Okay, so directly going without directly going to 2, we will take a step of 2 and we will take the value of n as 3. So now the value of n is 3. So now sum is equal to 1 plus 3. Why 1? Because previously the value of sum that we have received was 1. So 1 plus 3 will be 4. And so on. So let me simplify this example. 1 to 10 in the steps of 1. And I will explain. So loop example, the answer I am getting is 55. So let me tell you what is the value of loop example that we have got. So here you can see that the value of n will increase in each loop by 1. So for first iteration it will be 1, then for next iteration it will be 2, then for next iteration it will be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 1 to 10 in the steps of 1. So this middle what you can say number represents the step between the next value of n. So here the value is 1, so you will directly go 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So earlier I had used the value 2, means it will take the value as 1, then 3, then 5, then 7, then 9. But in this case what you are getting as answer, it is giving you the answer of addition of all the numbers between 1 and 10. So 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 up to plus 10, the answer is displayed over here. So the 55 value that we have got as answer is nothing but the addition of numbers from 1 to 10. Okay, so we did this just by using this for loop. So from 1 to 10 we are doing sum is equal to sum plus n, and in each iteration the value of n is increasing and value of sum is also increasing. Okay, so for the first iteration value of sum is 0, so 0 plus value of n is 1, so 1. Then for next iteration value of sum is 1, then value of n is 2, so 1 plus 2 3. Then for third iteration, now the value of sum is 3 plus value of n is 3, so value of sum now is 6, and so on. You can just go up to value of 10. Okay, then you can, in this way you can find out the sum of all the numbers from 1 to 1000, 1 to 10,000. Then you can also do the addition of odd numbers, you can also do addition of even numbers. So in the previous case, when I write 1 to 10 in the steps of 2, in that case I was doing the addition of all the numbers or all the odd numbers. Okay, you can do like that also. So in this way I have created, or I have found out the addition of numbers from 1 to 10. Okay, so you can just do on your own. So let me take some other examples. Yes, switch case. Okay, so this is also a kind of conditional statement. So let us explain, let me explain this one by one. So if you see the line 1, what the line 1 represents, color is equal to input into bracket enter the dress color. Okay, so inside a single inverted comma what I have written, enter dress color. Okay, and comma s represent string. So whatever the input that MATLAB will take from us will be in the form of string. He will accept the input in the form of string. So the MATLAB is asking the color of dress. So let me run it for now, and then you will understand it easily. You can run it. Okay, enter dress color. Let me write some red. Okay, so if I write red, then I will get a command as looking smart, because I have written this point. No, let me tell you how that looking smart has come. So the first line represents the input. So if I write this statement, the MATLAB will ask the input from the user. What input it will ask? Enter the dress color. Okay, and it solely depends on us which type of input you want to take. So here I am asking the user to enter the dress color. So the user will enter the dress color, and specifically it is mentioned as you have to write your input in the form of s, means string. You have to write this, give the input in the form of string. Then switch color, so you have to switch color. Okay, so case red, so what case red represents, you have to write each case in single inverted comma. Okay, so why it is called as switch case? Because in this example you can see you can give lot many number of cases, and accordingly you will get the output. So if the user enters dress color as red, then you have to write f print f into bracket looking smart. Means if user enter the dress color as red, he will get a message, he or she will get a message as looking smart. Then second case is pink. So if user enters pink, then f print f looking sweet, then that person will get this message. In this way you can add more cases, and you can get the corresponding messages. And otherwise if user enters some other value than what is mentioned in these, then he will get the message as wrong dress code. Means if in case if I write the dress color as purple, then I will get a message as wrong dress code. Why wrong dress code? Because in this program I have not mentioned purple case. Okay, if I have not mentioned purple case over here, then I will get the message as wrong dress code. So let me show it to you. So if I write purple, then I will get the message as wrong dress code. You can see over here I have got the message as wrong dress code because I have not mentioned that case. Okay, so you can add this case, you can add additional purple case over here, and you can get a corresponding answer. So let me start with the next. Okay. I will explain that in third experiment. Okay, so let me actually tell you how you can plot various graphs in MATLAB. Okay, let me simply tell you by using this command. Let me clear this command window by using CLC. So my command window is clear now. You can also write clear all so that you can delete all the saved variables in the temporary file. So let me tell you, if you create a vector of some from 0 to 10, right, then if you want to see what is the value of y is equal to t, then we can just plot it. Okay, if I want to do see the plot of x and y, let us take this t on x axis and y on y axis. So plot of t comma y, bracket complete. Let me run it. Yes, so let me clear the, let me use the command CLF because previously I was doing the program and it has not cleared that window. Just like if a previous you know that in classroom, if you have a lecture and blackboard is covered with the content of the previous subject, and if you don't rub it, you will get that content, and if you rub it for the next lecture, then you can write on that board. In the same way, for doing the for using MATLAB, or if you want to plot any kind of function, then you have to use the command CLF. CLF means clear figure. So if you use this command CLF, then it will clear the figure window. So this figure window is not clear because previously I was doing the programs and they are saved in that window. So if I don't clear that window, I will not be able to see the new plot. So let me do CLF. Now the figure window is clear, and let me now plot my function now, t comma y. So if I click on this, I will get this plot. Okay, so how to find a plot? This is so simple. First of all, define what is on x-axis, then define what is on y-axis, and then define the plot. That's so simple. So here I have defined x-axis as t is equal to 0 to 10. So you can see in the diagram, you can see just here in the diagram that your x-axis is from 0 to 10. So you have plotted this graph by taking the measurements from 0 to 10. So this is the window with x-axis from 0 to 10. Then I have taken the y-axis or function as y is equal to t. So you know that you can just use this command not command, you can just write y is equal to t, then you can get this function y is equal to t. So for each value of t from 0 to 10 you can find a corresponding value of y, and from this you can see that it is nothing but the straight line starting from origin. Okay, so your function is y is equal to t, and if you want to plot it you can just use this command plot, and inside the plot bracket you have to give what is on x-axis and what is on y-axis. That's it, so simple. So just by using the command plot into bracket t comma y, you are just mentioning what is on x-axis and what is on y-axis, and you will get the plot output. So just let me show you one example and then I will stop. Okay, so here let me run it first. Yeah, here you can see that in the same window I have created two graphs. Means by using some program commands or using some different commands you can get more than one graph in the single window. Let us see how you can do it. Okay, so now let me clear my command window. So remember, in command window you get the output. You can also write your program in command window, but the thing is you cannot edit that window. Okay, so it is always better to write your program in script file. Okay, so you know that you have this script file, you can edit it. Okay, you can edit it anytime. Okay, then here let me explain it one by one. So first line represent t is equal to linspace 0 to 2 pi comma 100. Okay, it means that you have created a vector t from 0 to 2 pi, and 100 means between 0 to 2 pi you have taken 100 readings. Okay, from 0 to 2 pi you are taking 100 readings or 100 points between 0 to 2 pi. Then your first function is x is equal to sin t. You can give any name to your function, you can give your name also. Okay, so you can give just student name is equal to sin of t, student 2 name is equal to cos t, whatever it is. Okay, so you can give any name to your function. So x is equal to sin t is one function and y is equal to cos t is second function. So what you can do, you can separately see those graphs in the same window, or you can overlap those graphs. Okay, so first of all let me explain this subplot window to you. Subplot, okay, you know that using the plot command you get this space. Okay, but with the help of subplot command you can split your graph window by different blocks. So if you write 2 comma 2 comma 1, then first two number represents the spaces. So 2 rows and 2 columns, 2 rows and 2 columns. So if you write subplot 2 comma 2, then you are creating the 4 spaces, 2 rows and 2 columns, you are creating 2 spaces. And what is the meaning of this third argument? Here the third argument is 1. It means that out of these 4 spaces you want to plot your next graph on the first location. So 2 comma 2 comma 1 means out of these 4 places you have to place your graph on the first location. So whatever you will write after this subplot command will be plotted on the first space. So we have earlier seen the output of this graph, that, and we will also see that output again, that the plot will be in the first location. So this plot will be in the first location. I will explain it to you. Now see this subplot next command. Just see on the 6th line. Just see on the 6th line. It is subplot 2 comma 2 comma 4. It means that you have created 4 spaces. How 4 spaces? 2 number of rows and 2 number of column. It means that you have created 4 spaces. Then what is this third argument? The third argument is 4. It means that whatever you will write after this subplot window will be plotted in the 4th location. Okay. So this will be located in the 4th location. So let me tell you what is written in this plot window. So now first of all see this. See the 5th line. In the 5th line you have written plot t comma x comma single inverted comma ro. It means that inside window you are mentioning what is on x axis. So t is on x axis, x function is on y axis. Okay. So for, you can say, for simplification purpose you can even give it name as z, so that you will not get confused. So here you can see that inside your plot command, t is the thing what is on x axis, z is on your y axis, and what is this ro represent? It means that you want your this plot in the red color, and o means it will be in the form of 0 0 0. So let me run it again and let me show you key out of this. Let me click on this. Out of these 4 spaces, you can see this, out of these 4 spaces, this is on your first location, this is on your 4th location, and in this first window we have plotted the 2 graphs, and out of which first graph is red and it is in the form of 0 0 0 0 pattern. Okay, so r is nothing but red color and o is nothing but a pattern in which you want to draw a plot. Okay, so then the next graph is in the same window. So t is on x axis, y function, that is cos t, on y axis, and you want this cosine or cos function in b into, means you want that graph in blue color, b means blue color, and in star 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 format. So we have just seen that cosine function is in blue color with star format. So now you can easily understand this step. Now this plot t comma y comma b represents you want your this function to be on the 4th location, as we have mentioned in the subplot, and that plot is nothing but on x axis t, y axis is your cosine function, and you want that function in just blue color. We have not mentioned any kind of pattern that we want. So you can just see here that your out of this your 4 spaces, your 4th graph is cosine function which starts from peak and it is in blue color. That's it. So these are various things that you can do in your MATLAB. So there are so many examples that you can go through it. So you can just type in Google as tutorial point MATLAB, tutorial point MATLAB. So you can do it and you can explore many things. Thank you for listening.